Greetings and salutations, nerds, geeks, fans of D&D, friends, and mostly family. Welcome to another Ramshackle production, a stream that promises if you watch us for an episode, you'll politely chuckle once. I used to say at least once, but I think you'll just one time you'll politely chuckle. And there it is. There's the polite chuckle. Got it.
You're only allowed one.
So welcome back.
Everybody gets one.
This is episode 11. We are running with a reduced cast, as you can see. One of our cast members is dealing with a personal issue, and unfortunately, Bones, the Devin, won't be joining us any longer. He's decided that he's going to take up dance, and his dance classes conflict with this game. But you can catch him at one of our local establishments here in Austin. Hit me up with a DM and I'll give you the name of the establishment. So,
Ooh.
Yeah. Anyways, where are we? So when we last left weeks and weeks ago, so apologies for that, but you know, life, right? The party had cleared out the honey pot. And had decided that they were going to try to figure out what they wanted to do as their next steps. The first thing that they wanted to do was to, hey, Rohirrim, welcome back.
Oh, dang.
They wanted to clear out the honey pot, and then they also wanted to, excuse me, and there's my mother-in-law. Thank you, Granny Bumpy. They wanted to clear out the honey pot, and they wanted to establish the plan. Hey, and Malevolus! Half a year just isn't enough.
That's what happens when you go away for a long time.
It is. All the subs just keep coming in, so I appreciate that, everybody. So they were going to clear out the honey pot, and they were also going to come up with a plan. And so we're going to do a bit of a time jump here and do some downtime activities. We've talked off stream about those downtime activities, and we'll share them. First off, though, at the end of, hey, Murder Burger! Welcome back.
That's all the show is it's just him reacting to subs.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. So we'll do that. But first off, everybody leveled up to level 3 last time. So real quick, if you guys can recall, share with what you leveled your character up in, the archetype that you chose. If whoever's ready, jump in.
So Valkorian, I'm a rogue, and I went down the road of the swashbuckler, is the proper nomenclature of the archetype, and that allows me to do some pretty interesting things. Most notably, a rogue, the main thing that you want to be able to do is use your sneak attack. And this allows me, if I'm in a 1v1 situation, almost like you're dueling, you're able to use that sneak attack situation in that mechanic. So it should provide for some interesting tactical engagement.
As well as increased damage almost every time you swing now.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
What about you, Warren?
So, I went for the Cavalier archetype. Something awoken in me when I saw a bear that I could ride. I got a little excited about that. And so what that gives me is I'm better at handling domesticated animals. And I'm theoretically much better with a couple of different characteristics, features at riding those things. And then also it gives me, in combat, sort of advantages for protecting the folks around me. So you'll see me during combat marking creatures, and I can choose based off what they do to use those marks to pull off attacks or protect my allies.
I mean, what you just read sounds a lot like marriage to me. What do you think there, Valk?
He said it with a smile, so I know it's not true.
So Nimbus is away, and so I'll just share what Maris had chosen. Maris had gone with the drunken technique, and so that gives him disengage as an action when he does flurry of blows, and some other. He got his key points, so he's allowed to leverage his key. Do
Key points.
Yeah, so think of
That's
keys
dope.
as like he gets 3 key points, I think, per day. I think maybe 2 key points. No, he gets 3,
There's
so that
some
allows
keys.
him to do per short rest. Nimbus, what route did you take your character down?
So Nimbus is as you know, a cleric, and he basically gets the couple of features and traits that he gets at this level are awesome. He's Guardian of the Depths, I think, is the most impactful thing. I think he's resistant to cold, ignores drawbacks caused by deep underwater environments. I don't think. Oh, wait, I remember. What was it? There was a thing that lets him maximize damage on lightning effects. Where is this? So he's Tempest Domain Cleric. He's a Tempest Cleric. Oh, where is this? So Channel Divinity is what he got. So he could turn undead, but he can also use his Channel Divinity to deal maximum damage instead of rolling for any lightning or thunder damage, which is super relevant because the Wrath of the Storm thing that he does is 2d8 lightning damage on anybody who hits him 3 times per long rest.
Oh,
and
Jeez.
he intrinsically has Thunderwave. So I can just blow my Channel Divinity once a day to maximize damage on Thunderwave, which is disgusting.
Yeah, that's pretty gross, dude.
Because Thunderwave is, also 2d8, but it's AoE, so he could do 2d8, like, minimally 16 damage on everybody around him with Thunderwave, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, longtime watchers of the stream might recognize Thunderwave as the thing that our previous bard used incorrectly all the time.
Incorrectly?
Yes.
Okay.
Let's talk about some downtime activity. So you guys had shared off streams that one of the things you wanted to do was to clear out the honeypot, clean it up, use all the furniture and wood bits around the house to fully repair it, and sort of reset the honeypot to a just an empty adobe to deal with as you saw fit. There was some other stuff that you guys wanted to do back in town, so why don't we just jump straight to Valk? So we're gonna talk about like a 5-day period where you guys do this stuff. So Valkoria, during that 5 days, you guys have to go back to town for like nails and supplies and stuff, back and forth across the road. You had wanted to go back to do a couple of things.
Yeah, so I'm gonna head down by the open air markets and try to find that bloke that was putting together my my earring and go and collect that. I tipped him quite well to have it done within the 5-day period. So I don't know if you want to have that interaction or if we'll be going on and doing my second errand.
Yeah, so you recall the gentleman's name was Thaddeus McGaddius, which was really easy for you to remember. And so you're walking through Salt Marsh. It's nice day out, open air market, fully packed with people. And as you are coming down the road towards the open air market, the guy's at the end of the marketplace there, and he sees you approach. You're a sea elf. You're kind of distinguished with your hat and everything. Oh, Mr. Sea Elf, please, come close, come.
Oh, I see you've got a good eye for plumage, and you saw mine bobbing about coming this way.
Oh, you are quite the
You got my
peacock.
earring?
I do, in fact. One moment, sir. And he goes down underneath his stall, which has, it's got bits and bobs and some decently made shell carving bracelets. He's got some
Hookah shell necklaces?
hookah shell necklaces, of course, yes. It very much looks like the kind of place that Patrick Swayze in Point Break would shop at.
Somewhere.
I want this to look like one of those fucking Pandora bracelets just hanging out of my ear, where it's like, oh, he was in band in high school, and it's got the little lyre on it.
So he reaches down underneath his stall and he comes up and he's holding this this carved piece of what appears to be some sort of bone. And it's got a hook on it, so when you wear it, it'll hang down past your cheekbone. And it's as he holds it up, he says, "Now, Mr. Seoff, I don't recall your name, so my apologies for that. But this is the collarbone, carved from the collarbone of a kraken."
I feel like you might be putting me on. I've pulled this gag before, where you take the penis bone of a narwhal, and you whittle it down and say that, hey, this is a spoon for your soups. And then you and your buddies, you get your laugh on while they're sitting there and they're scooping it up in their mouth. Usually some type of a chowder because we're so close to the sea. And you see him, and it kind of dribbles down the chin, as it were. I'm not falling for this one.
So make an insight check, and then we'll roll that against his.
I mean, you guys have done that, right?
Yeah.
The penis bone bluff?
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, that's
It's normal.
why I'm still married.
Oh, God.
Aaron's face.
Yikes.
It's a 12 for me.
Yeah, so it's a 16 from him. You get the sense that when he's being honest with you, as honest as a shopkeeper who sells jewelry can be, right? Mr. Valkorian, this a great Kraken.
Oh, you know my name now.
How do you know
yes,
his
son
name?
of a bitch, you name bad
Got this
shoes.
fucking hello, my name is
Hello, my name is
Valkorian
Valkorian.
from a meet and greet that I came by. Ripped that off.
Yeah, but it's
Wearing his work badge.
it's in swirly font, so it's cursive font, so everybody likes to read it. This Kraken, he was washed up on shore dead. He wasn't killed, so there was no great story behind it. But this bone is almost indestructible. He hands it over to you.
I need you to pierce my ear, as it were, and get that thing scented.
Yeah.
And I'll kind of flare my gills up at him.
Are you doing it intimidatingly?
No.
Okay. Yes,
Come
right
on,
away.
boy. Don't be squeamish about it. Pain don't hurt.
Yep. So he's got this small silver tin underneath his stall. He pulls it out. He opens it up, and it has this. It looks like a sewing needle essentially, but he pulls it out, and then he takes some strong alcohol. You're not really sure what it is precisely. Probably is rum, because it's a darker color, and pours it over the end of the needle. Then he sets it down sort of on an edge on the lip and strikes some flint and tinder, and it sparks up real quick. And then he takes it's like, this will probably sting. And
I'll put my hand up before he does it. Hey, boy, that's nice and all what you're doing there. I got my own, and I'll pull out just this rusty fish hook and hand it to him, and then take a swig of his rum.
Oh, God.
You did tip me very well. And so he takes the fish hook and he puts it in your ear. Let's make just a basic dexterity check.
Tetanus check.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's I'm glad I rolled the 19 and not that one, because you might have gotten your cheek pierced. He pierces the hook through and he hangs it on, and so it's a good 4 inches long and about 3/4 of an inch in diameter. This sort of carved, not really tooth looking, but sort of a carved shape like a horn almost, hanging from your ear now. And it's got a piece of brass wire at the end of it, and then two bands of brass wire at the top. It's pretty nice looking.
Nice.
Nice.
You did a good work. I'll tell people where I got this at whenever they're inevitably going to be complimenting me in droves.
Please
Right.
send them my way. Thaddeus Megadius, crafter of jewels from the sea.
Right. Hey, I might be after some detailed sewing work. Who would you recommend I go to?
Yes. In fact, we have there is a gentleman from the south in town who imports some fine silks. His name is Manuel Day, and he'll be able to take care of you. Tell him that Thaddeus Megadius sent you.
Right. I will do that. Thank you, sir. And then I'm gonna head down to Manuel's stall, or
Manuel Day, trader of fine silk. Manuel is his proper name, but he
Okay.
prefers to be called Manuel. So yeah, you go down and he says, "Oh, good day. How are you? Welcome to me shop. Can I help you?"
cheerio to you as well, my friend. I need to be need to be unburdened of some gold, and in exchange, I seek two little dolls for a young person.
Oh,
So great.
it. I specialize in doll making, actually. Besides helping people craft solutions to their clothing problems, sewing dolls is something that I've always wanted.
I pay a premium, son. I don't have to hear your life story.
Oh,
Thaddeus sent me over.
oh, Thaddeus, yes, yes. Well, in that case, for what are we talking about? And he asked you for descriptions of stuff, and so you guys share descriptions of the girl, and then one of you, and he's like, oh, yes, yes, yes. For 1 gold, I can easily make this happen for you.
And what kind of timeline would that be on? My
A few,
time is short in the area, as it were.
yeah, a few. I can put you to the top of the list for another 5 silver.
How about we make it 2 gold total, and you actually show me that you have a list of waiting clients? I could use a good laugh.
So he scrambles under his desk and okay, I don't get a lot of business. So you've got me.
And right, so make this good, and if you could get the ass hairs off of one of the guardsmen and collect those in a small pouch, I'll tip you another gold. I have a need for those for another use.
Well, I am an ass man.
A salt marsh guard's ass hairs in a pouch, and there's another gold in for it.
Yes. Well,
There's a good one on somebody's face.
Ars hairs from a guardsman. That is my speciality. Is what I would say. And I will work on that. Sure. And so he says come back in about 3 days time, and he'll have the dolls for you.
Right, and I'll put him a gold down, so half is paid for.
Great, great, cool. So that was sort of on day one. During this time, Bones had decided that he was going to go engage with Carl, and Bones comes back to the house to talk to you guys. Hey, guys, God, my bone sucks. I'm. It's like the drunk guy from Simpsons.
Mo?
Yeah, uh, uh, Carl and I are gonna go to the camp of his old crew, and we're gonna try to see if we can recruit them to join our cause. Carl's pretty sure that they'd be interested in getting some work, so while you guys do this carpentry bullshit, which I've got no fucking interest in doing, I'm gonna go talk to some seamen, sailors. I'm going to go talk to some sailors. And so,
Right, Captain, you need us to roll thick with you, or you're gonna be good on your own.
these are saltmen, and saltmen and myself, I know how to talk to them. You landlubbers might scare. Well, I mean, I guess you're not from the land, but you might scare them off. So me and Carl will handle this, and we'll be back in a few days' time with these guys in tow, and then we should be ready to be able to take on these sons of bitches in this boat and take it for ourselves.
Right.
So with that, Carl and Bones set off and are going to go meet with the crew of the Strumpet. Continuing through the time jump, Nimbus, you had wanted to do some stuff.
I think Nimbus is honestly, I don't know. He previously he was trying to like focus his energies on like what sort of crew we could get together to start like manning the honeypot and like establish a base of operations, given that we know we're going to have a ship soon. So what is the last that we heard of the guano gathering family?
So you haven't gone back out to them. The last that you had engaged with them, they said you could find them at the cave. They came to every day of the week except for one day of the week, and you could find them there harvesting guano for
That's right.
The
They
gentleman
gave
in
us
town.
like their schedule so we could go find them if we wanted to.
Yep.
Yeah, or we'd have to go to Kelidek as well, who like
Yep.
currently also employs them.
Yeah, Keldek
So-
employs them to bring him guano, and as you guys, Maris had shared, that's used, or I can't remember if it was Maris, someone had shared that it's used in the fireball spell as a component.
Oh.
Yep.
Ooh, that's interesting. So where are we now when we're like
So,
we're on
somewhere
day
between-
2 of 5?
Well, we're kind of doing this in a blend. So Lee's activities probably took like day 1, then he's gonna go back 2 days later to pick up his dolls and whatnot. So we've kind of filled his time for the 5-day window.
Okay, so at
Can we make it sound more manly than that?
Sorry.
He's gonna go pick up his dog.
Does the little sea elf need his dollies?
Lee's gonna go to get his action figures and
Oh,
bring
there
them
we go.
back.
So at
Collectible.
one
Yes.
of the that's right, they're collectible figurines, god damn it.
His miniatures. Yes.
At one of the like evenings over supper, Nimbus will turn to the crew and go, my friends, what do you think about the lads that were harvesting guano for the mage in town? I know we discussed that it's some material components for fireball spells, and he may be amassing and planning something insidious. Do you guys believe that it bears investigation and we could leverage squeezing some information out of those guano gathering folks and
Do
see
any
if
of
they
us-
can tell us anything about the mage?
Yeah. Do any of us know anything about Kelidek to start with?
No, you've never. You know he's with the Order. That's the only thing that you know from being in town. He's the Order's representative. Pretty much every
Oh.
town across all of the known world has a member of the Order or some Order presence. And as you know, the Order are known to they're the magic user guild in the world. And they try to harvest and collect to protect powerful magic items. The parallel I draw is that anyone that's familiar with Aes Sedai and collecting, artifacts like that, that's sort of their role. They want to control the power and make sure that, it's not, they're not concerned about men having magic. They're concerned about anybody who isn't a member of the Order having magic is sort of their thing.
Yeah,
Mage
and
Circle
they
in Dungeons and Dragons,
Exactly.
or in Dragon Age.
Yep.
where they're collecting Sangreal and
Yep.
Tangreal.
Tarangreal and Sangreal. Yep.
Yeah.
All that stuff.
Yeah.
Yes. So he's
I'll
not.
have
well,
his
let's see.
sangria as well.
He's not insidious in the fact just because he's a member of the Order. That's just sort of their
Yeah.
thing. Yeah.
Yeah. I would say I'm a little bit nervous about stealing his employees without talking to him first. I suppose that might be taken as not a friendly action.
I would not recommend that we try to steal his employees so much as offer them employment as well, because they are hard for cash, and get what information we can out of them, given that they are simpletons and seem to offer it up as much information as they have. I think that they will release without much work on our part. If we are in their good graces and we are employing them, they are cheap hands for labor, and we can learn more about what the mage is up to. I was thinking that long term they may be useful to us around the base and as our crew, but they also may just be simpletons scooping shit, and it might be a dead end and useless.
Well, I suppose I got shit on the ship. So.
They does get a little bit of sea apples on the deck that does need a scrubbing. But I worry that we may be going in too many directions whenever we have a very clear direction that we need to be heading, and that's to get this boat for the captain so that he can become a commodore.
I agree. What do you? We should probably begin to formulate our plan for how we intend to take over the ship. And I, my friends, have not experience with this. I have killed and been part of roving parties in hunting down large animals in the sea. I do not have experience with how to infiltrate and overthrow a ship.
Well, it depends on if you're needing to procure the vessel and then immediately escape. That's one way. If you have time to keep it in one spot and be able to go at it, then that's a whole nother thing. And I think we can do the latter in this case, lads. We would simply need to go and cut the forestay and the backstay of the rigging, and that will destabilize the mast and likely bring it down. So we would have to repair that, but it would deadline the ship most rookie tick. And that's just somebody swimming out there and cutting a singular line.
Well, I think couldn't we use we named this the house honeypot for a reason. We could use their weapon shipment, put it on the little rowboat, send it out there with people hidden on the bottom of it. You'd keep telling me you can breathe water, so we'll row it out there, and 2 people can hide on the bottom of the boat and cut the whatever you're talking about. And
Warren, this is the 3rd time you brought it up. I can teach you to breathe water. If you do it enough, it'll just happen.
Oh no.
Last time we tried it, I felt clean afterwards, and I don't like that. What
Yeah,
water?
Fair.
So Maris at this point says, yes, I will go to the Temple of Procon and talk to Stilgar well bright-handed to see if he can decipher these symbols for us. It might help in this plan as well.
Yep.
I'm a little bit concerned since he took that blow to the head. He may have lost some of his smarts in that attack. His voice is so different.
That's right.
And so during this downtime activity, then yes, Maris will be going to the Temple of Procan and spending some time with Welgar to decipher the scroll and return back to you guys the series of codes that are on that.
Oh, right, the Morse code lantern.
The Procan code. Yep. That on the second floor, there's a certain window that you, Warren specifically had found tracks and looked like the lantern had been set in this one spot, and the code appears to be a series of on-off signals, length of time.
Yep.
Cool. So did you want to go then, Nimbus? Are you saying that you want to go try to track down the shit wranglers, or you want to let that?
I mean, Nimbus, is your aim on this to be able to recruit the mage and leverage him in some sort of fashion, or are you just after the shit smugglers?
It's interesting you should mention recruiting the mage. I was more concerned that he may be up to no good, given that it seems a little bit mysterious that he's harvesting large amounts of guano. However, you make a good point, and he would be a powerful ally if we could bring him to our side.
So, from what I can glean about my time coming around to all these port towns, is the mage part of the town council or part of any of the associated government where the local town would hold sway over his activities? Or is he completely an independent body?
Completely an independent body, from your knowledge. You guys know on the council sits Monastrad Steelbreaker.
Yep.
Sorry, I gotta look these up.
I got it.
It's over here. NPCs.
Gellin Primewater, Edda Olland,
Yep.
Mefera.
Yep.
Wait, no, not Mefera.
Not Mefera. So it's Edda Oland,
Anders Solomor.
Gellin Primewater, Anders Solmar, and then Monastrad Steelbreaker, and the captain of the guard as well.
Oh yeah.
Eliander Fireborn.
Eliander, yeah.
Yep. So those are the folks that sit on the council.
Right.
Yeah, so, I mean, Nimbus is fine with just, like, trying to figure out how we're gonna infiltrate and, basically immobilize the ship, right?
Okay.
I think we still have planning to do, but, yeah, as far as, like, not dealing with the guano gatherer folks for now, that's fine.
Cool, great. So then, your Warren, during the 5 days of downtime, what would you want to be doing?
First thing I would have done, found a young boy, and given that young boy.
That's gonna be it for us tonight, guys. Really appreciate everyone coming out, and
or a girl, it doesn't matter. I'm not picky.
Okay.
I'm gonna give them a note. to take to Jask and Mufara, basically telling them about Clogdar's new grave, and indicating that we're still on target and that their secret is safe for the plan I queued them in on at a high level. And then I would like to follow that lady with the bear. I think she said, I don't remember her name. Not Vexalia, but it wasn't.
Well, so she was just passing through town, actually.
Oh,
So
damn.
yeah, she's not.
Is there like a livery in town or like a circus or something?
There's what you had, if you'll recall, one of the stalls. There is obviously a stable that has horses and whatnot available. But one of the stalls you'd passed also had a series of small creatures. If you'll recall, it was run by a gentleman by the name of Ross. And he was yelling at his two compatriots,
Pet monkey.
Monica and Rachel, about his
Yeah.
monkey Marcel that was running away. So you know about that. But within town there is absolutely a stablery that you can go to.
I'm thinking Ross is not going to have anything I can ride, which is now what I've been awoken to. So I think I'm going to go to the livery.
Roll.
Maybe if you buy him dinner.
Roll a intelligence check, general intelligence check for me.
Okay. Oh, not 100 of them. Why did I do that earlier? 2. Roll. 15.
Yeah. So you know that you could probably find a pony or a horse at the stable. While there's not a lot of farming that goes on in the salt marsh area, there is sometimes at the open market a gentleman who brings large sheep to the market, and sometimes that could include rams for sale.
Ooh.
If that was something you were interested in. So
It absolutely is. Is he in town now?
yeah. So it's actually, you have to go back a couple of days. So you go find a town, write a note to the small child. He delivers it, and then you go back the next day, and nothing from them. And you can't find the guy in town. Then on the third day, when you go back, so this is on the fire day. So on fire day, when you go back, you are able to find at the marketplace. Not Friday, sorry. It'd be Swords Day, Saturday. You find the guy, and he's there, and he says, "Hello, how are you?"
I'm doing well. Hi, I'm Orange Forge One. I've heard that you might be a person to acquire an animal from. I'm interested in doing that.
So are you wanting to get into raising sheep, or what are you looking for?
You could say that in a way, raising sheep. No, I'd be more interested in something dwarf-sized that I could. I got these stubby legs, and I'm gonna lift my pantaloons up and show them my bare-ass legs. They're just not very fast. I think it'd be great if I could, something I could get on the back of and kick into gear.
Oh yeah, I've never sold a goat to a dwarf before for a mount, but I might have the one that he'd want. And he goes back into his pen, and you hear all this weird baying and animal noises and whatnot. And then he comes out with this ram that has these curled horns, and this one's name is Tom. I have raised him since a child, but he can no longer, what's the word you dwarf use? Makes the love to the lady goats and make the babies. So, he is no longer good to me.
Oh, can I look around? Take a look at the ram. Do I spy? Is he does he appear to be in good health other than potentially being a girl ram, and that's why he's not putting babies out anymore?
Make a animal handling check
to see if he's in good health. I feel like medicine is also acceptable.
Boom.
Oh,
you know
well.
absolutely everything about this goat. You can tell by the way that he stands in the mud, how much oats he eats on a daily basis. By inspecting his teeth, you can see the last time that this shepherd cleaned his teeth. Looking at a sample of his stool, you're able to assess how often he's being fed. You check his wiggly bits underneath, and he has a functional unit. But
It's very important.
it just appears that over time his fertility has just it's fallen off. So
As one does.
he's a just under middle aged for a goat. I'll have to look that up because I don't know what that is for goats. But
I think they're immortal, right?
yeah,
Yep.
yeah, you would know that. You know exactly how old this goat is with that natural 20 roll with animal handling. And the best part about it is you don't, when you're done fondling his bits, you don't even have to wash your hands. That's how delicate you were. That there's no smegma left on your palms. It's a goat, dude. I'm assuming that there's a lot of stuff underneath there. I've never seen the undercarriage of a goat, but it can't
I'm gonna
be
give
good.
the undercarriage a good little
Hey.
pat. Say,
I'm gonna be honest. Even in our game, I did not think that goat dick cheese was something that was.
It is. It came up. By the way, we're getting our next shirt that we'll be selling as merch is the Goat Dick Cheese shirt. That's coming. So
hell yeah. I don't like the name Tom though on this goat. I'll tell you what. I'll buy it from you for. I don't know. It's not good to you. So really, I'm doing you a favor. I'll buy it for nothing.
are you doing that in a bartering tone or in intimidatingly?
Oh, definitely bartering, like kind of joking around, but like seeing what he'll bite on.
Make a persuasion check for me.
13.
All right, let me roll.
Something.
Yeah.
You rolled a 5.
I tell you what, you seem like a goat. I've never seen a man who handles goats the way that you handle a goat, so you seem like a goat whisperer. I will sell him to you for 7 silver.
Alright. You know, I'm doing you a favor here. I'll do 7 silver, and I'll flip him 7 silver.
As you're
7
flipping,
silver.
I was doing the difference between the two numbers. As you're flipping 7 silver in the air, he's trying to catch him and put him in his pocket as quick as he can. So we'll adjudicate this off. I got to pull up some stats, so I'll send you a stat card for your.
We'll do it
goat.
later.
But you have
Man.
you have a ram that you can now ride. One would say that you've shackled him.
Nope.
God.
I think I'm gonna call her Pamela. Pamela Ramderson.
Give yourself an inspiration point, sir.
Wait, it's not Ramela Anderson?
Oh.
Pamela Ramderson.
I mean, that's pretty good too.
Plus it's 2 R's for that Scottish accent. Pamela Ramderson.
Yeah,
Hell yeah.
known for her role in Sheepwire,
Ooh,
the film
that's
about
terrible.
yeah, shepherding. Doubly rammed. Lemony B, give yourself a fucking inspiration point. That's
10 out of 10 solid for doubly ranked.
that's great.
Alright,
Yes,
so
Mama
I've
Levy,
got my ram.
that was definitely an immense goat check. I just imagined that Warren's combing through each hair, lifting each fold in the ram.
There was a lot of smelling. Very
Bow
up
watch.
close smelling.
That's good. That's good. That's real good.
Bow watch.
All right, so you've now got this ram. Let's continue through the fast forward. So it's 5 days later. It's now the 9th of Pale Sun. Excuse me. I've got to bring this up. And you guys find yourself back at the honey pot. All of you gathered in the empty foyer of the honey pot on the morning of the 9th day, the 9th of Pale Sun. What are your actions? Let's see, the 9th is so it's Tower Day the 9th. Nice and warm outside, gentle breeze. It's about 10 in the morning, and you hear a knock at the door.
I assume we're all like making breakfast type deal.
You're just kind of
I'm
hanging out.
gonna knock an arrow and slowly walk over to the window to where I can stealthily look out and fire on whoever's there if needs be.
Roll me a stealth check.
Yeah, do they have Jehovah's Witness in this universe?
Yeah, but it's
Yeah,
Bahamut's Witness.
It's Bahamut's
frustrated
Witness.
deception. Yeah. Okay.
Oh yeah.
It's a 21.
Yep. So you creepily, stealthily, move to the window. You've got an arrow knocked, and as you look out the window, you recognize it as the annoying little boy that had followed you out of town the first time that you guys left town, who had all the questions and complimented you on your ears and complimented Warren on his beard. So
I think I threatened to kill him.
Yes, you may have. Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, it's just a little lad. Stand down. I'll open up the door for him.
So as you open up the door,
What's going on, little one?
I was told to bring you this letter. Jaskin Mafar sent me, Mr. Dwarf. Your beard is luxurious. Please don't kill me. Please, they paid really well. And he's shaking, holding out a piece of parchment.
Are you gonna grab that? You're the closest to him,
I'm
right?
looking for my prop. Where is it? Did you mail it to my house?
I didn't mail it. I'm sorry. I didn't have a prop this time.
Damn it.
I wasn't expecting a note from Warren to Jaskin Mafar. Look at that. There's a prop. So
Just don't look at the other side.
Right, so I'll take it. Thanks, little one. Go get yourself in some trouble, and I'll flip him a gold piece.
Oh, nice.
He catches it and, Mister, is that real gold?
Son,
It's chocolate.
I'm a sea elf. If I give you a fake piece of gold, it curses you for 17 generations. You better hope that that's real gold.
And he starts crying and screaming and running away from the house just as fast
Oh,
as
that kid's got spirit. That he does.
chubby little legs will carry him. So he goes running away. And so you as you look at the parchment, you can see that it's got soot stains on the edges and some very large thumbprints. If you'll recall, Jas
Ooh, I know
Cat.
who has big hands.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Big old dick beaters.
Big
Yeah.
old beaters. So when you open it, it has in probably the worst handwriting you've ever seen. It kind of looks like a 4-year-old scrawling in charcoal, and it says, "Thank you. We shall come visit his grave soon." But soon is spelled SOENE. So you think it's supposed to be soon, but you're not really sure. And then it just has a J at the bottom.
That's my girl.
Okay.
Cool.
So I'm gonna take that as like they're coming here. Was there anything in there about? I guess there was nothing in there about the plan, like, at all.
Nope. Just a thank you, a nod of appreciation, and it must be Jamila Janderson. Yes.
Anderson.
Yeah, she's definitely coming.
The Ram wrote my note. Anyway,
Mars has also returned, and you guys now have the parchment with the full list of codes, and it's 5 words, and they are 5 words that you spell out. It's safe, ready, yes, no, and the 5th one. Sorry.
butts.
No. I got it over here. Sorry.
Ovaltine.
Oh, yes, Ovaltine.
More Ovaltine.
Oh, that's the worst. But yeah, so safe, ready, yes, no, and then I'll look up the other one. But so you guys have the codes now that you need to communicate with the ship. And it is again the morning of the 9th, so you still have a few days before.
Yeah, we still gotta figure out what we're doing once we get out there besides cutting that rope to immobilize it, right? We need to figure out how we're gonna overthrow it.
Yeah, I mean, we've got to get an idea on the complement, how many folks there is, Warren, of the crew, and get a feel for if they send a longboat out or what. We may be able to get a section of them here and then return to the ship to do the work.
Well, I think we might be able to track down someone who can help us with that. There was a gentleman who was working for Jask. His name escapes me at the moment, but I'll find it.
Ned Shankshaft.
Ned Shankshaft, thank you. Oh, thank you, Morden. If we can find him, he was the one delivering the weapons to the pirates. I suspect he was also doing the lamplighting and a few other things for our little wizard friend.
The lamplighter, yeah. So the guy that you met with, the captive, he was the one actually that lit the lamp. He just didn't know
Yeah.
what the codes were. So essentially,
Right.
the mage would point at a line, and he would go upstairs and do this, but he didn't know what message he was sending.
And he was the one that worked for Jaskin Farr, right? Or no?
No. So the guy that worked for Jasmine Gafar was the naked guy who was pretending. He was upstairs pretending to be a captive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, there were. That's right. We had two different captives.
Yeah.
Wait, what?
So when you guys went to the second floor, you found a guy who was naked and bound on the second floor, and he convinced
Someone let him go.
You let him go, and you find out through the interrogation process with the real prisoner that guy actually worked for the mage at the honeypot, and had been a plant at Jask and Mafara's shop to make sure that they were staying in line. And so Jask and Mafara on the 14th of every month make the weapons, deliver it to a cache, and that cache, the pirates at the honeypot would go pick that up, bring it back to here, and then the night of the 15th, sail it out to the ship. So on the 15th, the ship will show up. There will be a communication between the house, the honeypot, and the ship. Then the normal plan is that the ship would take the weapons out to the ship, who then would deliver those weapons to wherever they were delivering them to. Does that make sense?
So I'll take a long rest to the 23rd then.
Wait, after the wait.
It'll all clover in the morning. Let's just go down to the Winchester and have a pint.
Yeah,
Wait for the whole thing to blow over.
We can totally. I mean, we can fast travel, quote unquote, if you want, to the night of the 14th, to the night of the 15th.
We need a plan first.
Yeah,
we have planning.
So the next couple days, I want to row out and see if I can get a more detailed feel for what an ingress and egress route I would take in that size of a ship, and really get a feel for positioning, and then see if there's a possibility to make almost like a buoy, so that we could saw it in the most likely place that they would moor up. And then from that, that gives us a point of calibration for how we want to take it down.
Cool. And I'm assuming that you'll go into the water as often to check depths and whatnot. You as a CL, if you're okay. Cool. So do me a couple of things. Let's roll an investigation check. Is anyone going with him as he performs these things?
So what does the investigation entail? What is he going to go do?
It's a 16. I'm kind of scouting out the bay area in front.
Like out on that little dinghy we have. You're just kind of going out there and exploring the bay. Okay.
I mean, I could just swim it, but I'd want to have supplies with me.
Yeah.
And get a feel for what the view is, above the water.
Yeah, I want to go understand what that looks like as well. So I would accompany you for sure. Go stretch my legs.
Nimbus,
I'll just go be muscles and row.
Oh, there you go. 3 men in a boat.
So this is the Tendy's call, obviously. Here, that's
what it's called.
This picture. This is Captain Bones' ship that you guys are using to do this. I have to fill in the stats still. So with that roll, you're able to find what appears to be the based upon the description of the ship that you have so far, it's got a pretty deep keel. It's not a shallow keel by
Yeah.
any means. And so you're able to go out about 200 yards or so from the cave mouth in the Tendi's Call, and you get to a point where it precipitously drops off. So it goes from being between 5 and 10 feet deep to 15 to 20 feet deep to just drops off into 150 feet or whatever, clearly a shelf or whatever. And so you think that this would probably be, it's got good eye line to the cliff, the promontory cliff where the house sits, to see that window, and you think this might be the general area where the ship comes in.
All right, gentlemen. So likely the evening of the 14th, my thinking is I will be down on the surface below the water here, waiting for the ship to pull up. I might actually then start the attack from here. I could go up the keel, up the forestay rigging line, move up and get that thing severed from the main bow of the vessel, or I could go for the rear and do the backstay. But basically just going to cause some on-the-deck chaos. Or do you guys want me to wait until the signaling is taking place?
If we wait till the signaling, it's more likely they'll have more people, because they'll have like a rowboat they could go out in, right? So if we can catch them where there's less of them there, I think our odds are better.
Yeah. So we want
Are you
whoever gets
saying
on
we
the
wait?
rowboat to do that first.
Well, so my thinking is that I won't even have a boat out here in the bay. So I could come up and, as you guys are either within range in the boat, or if we want to, do a different plan of attack, while a ship's crew is in transition, it's whenever they are the weakest. So as they are transitioning from sailing in and coming to a full halt, they are going to be the most distracted, and perhaps we could use that to our advantage.
I think that's for the best. I also, as I've been thinking about it a little more, I think I'd probably want to leave the weapons cache out. We might have killed almost everyone involved there. And involving that might lead questions back to the Dwarven Anvil, and I don't really want that. A Dwarven Forge, I don't really want that.
So are you saying, there's no guarantees that they would stay if nobody returns the calls and the windows are dark?
We can get somebody to do that.
That's what I'm thinking. And then perhaps we're already out here, although, Stumpy, I don't know if you've been trying to breathe water, but I don't exactly believe you're proficient.
I could find a way out. Perhaps we were talking at one point about, maybe it was just me talking about it, but we could put me in a dress, and I could pretend to be a damsel in distress. You just have to tuck it in, the beard.
So the problem I have with that is that this ilk are not exactly known to be gallivanting cavalier heroes.
I'm planning
going
on it.
About and rescuing. They'll be coming after you with more sullen purposes.
That sounds wonderful. Hell yeah.
You guys will also recall that the town council had loaned you there was a second ship, so a small
larger ship,
a small fishing boat that can hold up to it holds the two town guards that they were going to loan you, and then up to 8 people on it in addition to those two.
Yeah.
So you have that as an option too.
That's why we were talking about getting a little bit of a fighting force with us originally, because we were talking about going out there and taking it over.
I mean, we could use a distraction there too. We could load up a boat with explosives or whatever we can find. Light it on fire. Hell, I don't give a shit.
I think we want to capture this prize and not
right.
let it burn.
Yeah, I keep forgetting about that.
Nimbus shares, Maris and I, should we need, are both able to control a fog cloud that would completely block the vision of everyone on the boat. It would be wise if we wanted to or needed to slow their approach. We could cast the fog cloud on the front and even on the crow's nest of the ship, and completely block the vision of everyone on board, so that we could approach however we need, and presumably force a slowed approach of the ship if we should wish.
So I like this idea. How big of an area can you fog up?
Let's see, how big do fog clouds get? Spells.
When one of you did it in the
Fog
basement,
cloud.
it was about 20 foot, I think, because I
It's a
couldn't
20
see
foot
shit.
radius sphere.
Ooh, a sphere.
Yeah. So it could be like on the front of the ship, so that they can't see forward through it.
I believe that might throw a few of them off, thinking they may be under attack, though, if some type of a fog, maturates and appears that quickly.
True.
Pose it almost as like a nature check to Nimbus and I. That question, see if we think that somebody, or would that be like an Arcana check?
Almost like, I think it's almost like
Ooh.
a deception check, right? Because you're trying to see if something you're going to do is going to trick people, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
let's add your deception modifiers to it.
That's not great for Nimbus. But
That's a +4 for me. You look very handsome today.
very nice.
It's a 15.
Yeah.
And a 17.
Yeah.
Right.
You guys are pretty sure that you could craft something in such a way to convince them of your intent.
So,
So,
Nimbus will share also. It would be draining on our magical powers for the day, but if we have need, we can cast fog clouds at higher levels and each create a 40-foot diameter sphere.
How long does that
Each.
fog last?
It says up to an hour.
Oh.
Yep.
Oh, could you cast
I'm
that from the
thinking-
water?
Range
exactly.
is 120 feet.
If we're in the water, then one of you could obscure the front of the honey pot, and then the other one could obscure as the vessel's coming into it. And then that way, they would be force likely to split the force and have to send some type of a longship up to make contact so that they could get delivery.
That's real good. It
Alright.
would mean splitting up Maris and Nimbus for this plan. So one has to be out in the bay to be within 120 feet of the ship as it approaches.
Well, I figured
and one
that
has
the
to be near
two
the honey
guards,
pot.
and Maris could be handling the honeypot side
Yep.
of it, and then we could be out there, located there in the sea. We
Yep.
need to get some type of breathing rigged, almost like a snorkel, as it were, for Stumpy here. But you could sit on my knee.
Yeah. And if we're gonna do that, I'd need to switch out my armor. I talked to Mike about this off stream, and I think he was cool with it. To grab the mail of not killing myself when I'm in water.
The mariner's
Oh,
armor.
yeah.
And I was just about to call you out. I was like, so what are you gonna do with your plate armor during this time? But that's
Yeah, it
Oh.
sinks to the bottom of this ocean.
Homie is very afraid of that.
Yeah. All right, so let me just understand sort of the plan here, right? So it's you're going to put a fog cloud. I wish somebody could draw. We should have a whiteboard. Can we whiteboard this? So we've got a fog cloud that's going to be on the front of the attendees call.
I thought we were going to put it on the front of the ship we're taking over, like obscure their vision as they enter
Yeah.
the bay.
So forcing them to stop. Then the front of the bow would be obscured, allowing us to cut the force stay and further, stop them. And then from there, be able to hit the not a whole bunch of the seashore, so that they could still use the major landmarks that they do to guide themselves in. But we would have at the honeypot, that cliffside, the two guards and Maris, and then we would be out in the bay, floating or underwater, And then as they come up, since it's evening, it's going to be hard to see, heads sticking above water, especially if it's just one. And then as they start pulling in closer and slowing, then we would fog over the front of their vessel, allowing us to start scaling it in stealth. And then once they release their longship, we would hopefully be scaled up and either into the aft castle, if it's that big of a vessel, or at least obscured from vision, so that longship wouldn't spot us as they're making their way up to shore, and then we would be able to start the attack there.
All right. So I think in Paint I have depicted on stream what you're.
I was just doing that too. That's hilarious. I was just pulling up Microsoft Paint to do do that.
So,
show us what you got.
Yeah. So you've got Warren, Nimbus, and Valkorian in the sea out here. You put a fog cloud up to get them to kind of stop. You put another fog cloud up along the shore to hide these three. You signal them.
So the shore is done first. Whenever we're within sight and we see them, they obscure it so that they know that there's fog in the area, and then as the one apparates in front of them, it's like they're sailing into it.
Okay.
So then they know they're in the right spot, but they can't get a positive visual on the building, so they have to deploy a longship. The crew complement their party would be split, so that we're even Stevens. And then as that longship goes out, then we can start our attack more surgically on the main ship.
So the intent is just to get them to board the longship to try to get a visual on the house outside of the fog cloud. Okay. I think I understand. Okay. So do we want to fast forward to the night of the 15th?
We still don't know what we're gonna do. That's just how we know we're going to split their forces.
Okay.
So we still don't know what we're gonna do when we get on board and who's going, right? So we know the three of us present planning this want to be on the attack boat. We're going to scale the side, cut the rigging so that
I don't think we even need a boat.
You said you're in the water.
I don't think we need a boat. We would just be in the water.
Yeah.
And Warren's just gonna.
I'll float.
Can I float with
the Mariner scale?
Yeah, with the Mariner scale now, I think that allows him to swim at his normal movement speed.
Oh, okay.
And it offers.
Yeah. And if I go, you have swimming speed equal to your walking speed. In addition, whenever you start your turn underwater with 0 hit points, the armor causes you to rise 60 feet towards the surface. The armor is decorated. It's the scale mail, right?
Yeah. So it's Mariner's armor, but it's in scale. So it's AC 15 or whatever it is for scale.
14, yeah.
14. So yeah, you have a decent armor class, and you can swim as fast as you walk.
I'm not 20 anymore, but I'll live, I guess.
So what's the plan when we get on the ship?
Well,
What is the plan when we get on the ship?
Sheep are quite easily dispersed when you strike the shepherd, so I think we beeline over to the captain while the rest of the crew are worried about the rigging. Then we kill or capture him and take his vessel. If we have more than 10 crew on the deck at any given time, I think we reevaluate if we want to get in that engagement, but I like our rods 10 to 3, and then we will signal the shore once we have taken the vessel, and have them do the same whenever they've negated the longboat.
That makes sense to me.
So the longboat is going to be handled by Maris and the guards.
Yep.
They're gonna go out on a small on the attendees call to meet them and 1v1 them out in the bay, basically.
I think wait till they pull up to the hole and take them there.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. And just ambush them when they pull up.
Yep.
Okay.
One thing we could do, I mean, y'all would know more about this being from the ocean and stuff, but I don't know how I'm going to be about climbing a boat, but I think I could put pittons on the side of our boots, and they'd help us climb the wood of the boat.
Sure. We We have time to make climbing boots before they get here, so that's smart.
That's certainly something I'd be interested in. I love working.
We could
with
go to town and buy some boots and caltrops and fashion them into climbing boots.
I've got pittons on me. I just need your boots.
Sure, but then your boots are permanently pittened.
Hell yeah! I kick a motherfucker.
You need a spare pair of boots. I'm not letting you turn my fucking normal boots into to spike boots.
Well, I'm gonna do that.
You can't walk on wood ever again. You just get stuck for taking a single step.
I'm gonna put them on the toes so you like kick in instead of like
trying
to.
Okay. I mean, that's cool.
So in
DM ruling, we also do more damage when we kick people. And doors.
An extra D2.
And doors.
And we have advantage on kicking doors.
So when you're going back to town to find these supplies, Warren, the shop, you could buy just a climber's kit for 25 gold, which would include pre-pitted boots if you want. And since you don't need all the other accoutrement, the shopkeeper is like, well, I could sell you, 3 pair of these boots for 25 gold, but you wouldn't get all the extra stuff in the climbing kit.
I think I'd rather make them myself too. I think that's what I'm a smith. It's something I do.
All right, so roll 3 d20s one at a time and add your proficiency bonus. And are you using your mastercrafted hammer to do this?
Clearly.
So you get to do it at advantage. So.
Ooh, oh, that's right. Wait, so proficiency bonus, what does that mean?
So
that's +2.
Yeah,
okay,
level,
got it.
It levels up with you.
Got it. So it's a d20 +2.
Yeah,
I just realized, is your proficiency shown anywhere on your character sheet? It's really not.
Yeah.
So at advantage,
right
the
next
first
to
one
your
was
charisma
2. Second, so the first roll was a 20.
Oh, it is. Yeah.
The second one was also a 20. That was close.
Jesus Christ.
And the third one was a 14.
Okay,
So somebody might
that's
be
pretty good.
So you craft 2 of the boots without issue. The third pair of boots, you're pretty sure that they're going to be ruined after this, and someone's going to need to buy a new pair of boots. So the first 2 appear just fine, but the third pair is going to be a one-time use type situation.
Hey Nimbus, look at what I did to your boots.
Nope.
All right, I'll wear them. I'll wear them. That's fine.
All right.
No, Nimbus would wear them because I think he otherwise normally goes barefoot anyway, so it's fine. Yeah.
All right.
Right.
I'll buy you new boots.
Sweet.
All right, so I think we're ready there.
Yep.
I don't have any other ideas other than I'd like to not die. Like, we go talk to what's his name and see if he has like potions of water breathing or something that would.
You mean Welgar?
Solomon or.
So Salmers had Salmers Ander had the shop that he said you could go shop at his place for sure.
We got to go hit up that guy. Yeah.
And then for Welgar is the guy at the Procan Temple. So you know that in town the most likely place to find magical stuff is going to be in one of 2 locations. Andar's might have some. But also Kelladek, as the only person in town who's a representative of the Order, would probably have some low-level magic stuff that he might be willing to part with.
I would for sure be interested in going to meet with the mage.
Yeah, I think
let us go have a conversation. DM question for you.
Yes.
With how tightly bound the rigging on these vessels would be, if one was attached to the top part of the line when the bottom is cut, would that take them up near the crow's nest relatively quickly?
Heroically and like Pirates of the Caribbean, yes.
Yeah, you would look just like Carrie Ools from that horrible Gina Davis movie, something.
Hell
Bay.
yeah.
God, what was the name of that movie? It's a Pirates
reference
movie.
right over my head.
Mid-90s. It's the worst ever.
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
Well, they also did it in Hook, right? He like grabs like a rope and cuts something and then like rides it up.
Yeah, you break all rules of physics when it comes to pirate movies. Yes.
Sure.
Can we also, in the spirit of Hook, have a colored mashed potatoes food fight?
We need this.
I would suggest you do it before you put any new furniture in the house, because getting mashed potatoes out of wood is really difficult. It's
Smart.
I think our wood's pretty much fucked, and I'm gonna point over at the dwarf with his spiky shoes.
and you notice that
I'm gonna
like
try to catch as much of my mouth as I can.
you look, there's these furrows in the ground across the house where he's been walking, and you're like, I just fixed those floors. So you guys, the three of you, make your way back to Salt Marsh, and you make your way to Kelladek's Tower. And it's midday, so it's not like early in the morning, early in the evening. You're not probably interrupting a meal. And let me bring up the map of Salt Marsh real quick. Sorry.
Sweet.
Salt Marsh. All right, so there we go. There's this. And so, Kelladek's Tower. I wasn't ready for this. I love that you guys are bouncing all over the place, by the way.
I don't know if that's sarcasm, but visiting the mage is super fun. I'm excited.
No, it's not. I love that you guys are all over the place. I
Okay.
really do. Yeah, it makes it so number 6. So
Oh, maybe we just go back to the wicker goat. I don't know.
all right, so
No,
you
kidding,
guys are
kidding.
gonna go here, down here.
Right.
So
Where's the ping?
It's right next to the mining company headquarters. It's this,
Oh, I see.
This large complex here. So
Got it.
Yeah, you're quite familiar with it, Warren. You pass by it. You pass by it all the time in town. So you make your way there, and there's a like on all order establishments, there's a blue cloak shape is sort of the symbol of the order, and you knock on the door, and a couple of moments later, a man opens the door, and it's a large man. He's nearly 7 feet tall. He's got dusky skin, a bald head, and he's wearing a bright blue silk turban. And he strikes an imposing figure. Think Morgan Freeman from the Robin Hood movie, the original Robin Hood, but a much taller Morgan Freeman. And so when you at the door, he says, "Good morning to you."
Have we been told if he is a wizard or a sorcerer, or what sort of nomenclature has been used to describe his magic abilities?
He's a Warren. You would know this, being in town. He is a member of the Order, so he is a wizard. All members of the orders are either wizards or acolytes learning to become wizards. So he's a merchant that deals in magic items, and through the Warren and Valkorian would know this, that the reason that they sell magic items is they can also kind of keep track of who's buying things and sort of figure out what's the inner workings of the world, if they control all of it. So yes, so you've knocked on the door. He sees the three of you standing there, and he says, "Good morning."
So Nimbus says, and good morning to you, honorable wizard. We are sorry to interrupt your no doubt busy schedule and studies and whatever projects you may have going. As a member of the order, I understand that you have lofty business, and we mean to only make the best use of a little bit of your time, and wanted to introduce ourselves. My companions and I have been hired by the town council to stop a plot that has been allegedly arming nearby lizard folk with weapons illegally, and we have accepted a bounty on behalf of the village to keep Saltmarsh safe and clean up the area. And we wanted to make your acquaintance for a number of reasons, and was hoping that you might entertain just a moment of your time to discuss a partnership between ourselves.
Yes.
He's made a few words.
I mean,
Nimbus.
His name is Kelladek the Unspoken. Just that's his name. So.
Okay. So
we call him Nimbus the Very Spoken.
Yeah. So Nimbus will ask him, In 6 days' time, the ship will be approaching, and we plan to overthrow it. And we wish to do so with minimal casualties and damage to the ship itself. My companion and I, Maris, we are Tritons from the elemental plane of water, and we plan to use fog to our advantage to besmirch their vision as they come through the bay, and was wondering if you, with all of your magical prowess, have any control over the weather or similar abilities.
Yes. Come in.
He invites us in. Okay,
Yeah,
let's
so
go in.
He doesn't put his hand out to invite you in. He just kind of says yes, come in. And he walks away from the door, and as you enter this foyer, what's interesting about it is that the perimeter of the room is cloaked in this unpierceable darkness. So there's an oval shape in the center of the room, and at the end of the room, beyond the door, about 20 feet in, is a small counter. And then the rest of the room is just cloaked in this darkness that you can't see through. It's just blackness.
Cool.
And he walks over behind his counter, and he pulls out a small wooden box, and he opens the wooden box, and he says, "Would you like to have some potions of water breathing?"
Oh,
Well, you see, the thing about that is, yes, we would very much like that.
cool.
What do you
can I-
take in trade for it?
For these potions, I will sell them to you for 180 gold pieces a piece.
Oh,
What if we paid you by killing pirates?
No.
180 gold?
Yes, per potion.
Well, I think, do you have like a straw instead that I could just breathe through?
Let's see.
Like a scuba mask?
Yeah, something like that. Or just like something with a lot of air in it I could just put up to my mouth instead. Like just the container for the potion.
Why don't we just get you a flotation device?
I mean, technically, his armor is a flotation device.
Yeah, you're fine. You don't need to breathe underwater.
And
Well, I'm worried about.
you
We'll need to
breathe,
be underwater for a little bit, though, right?
You breathe water naturally, Nimbus.
The rest of us do.
Yeah.
I'm the only one that doesn't.
Yeah.
Because I forgot this was an ocean campaign. So how long can I stay underwater? Like, because what I'm worried about is not being underwater when the boat comes in.
So you can
Like,
hold.
It's going to be night.
Yes.
It'll be night, and there's going to be fog that's going to be popping up. I wouldn't worry
There's no
about it.
reason to need to breathe underwater. I was gonna ask this mage if he can,
I'm good.
like, literally make the whole bay foggy that night. Like, if he can control weather or like do a better fog cloud. Like, if he can cast a level 8 fog cloud, that's 160. You know what I mean? It's like a much larger.
So it is much larger. We need it to be big enough that it obscures, but also small enough where they feel comfortable launching a log ship into it and coming in knowing that they're in the right spot.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, we could just ask him to cast a fog cloud that's bigger than what we've got on the honeypot. I was just basically going to see like how we could leverage him with this plan that we're making. If that means like his magics or what.
So
that means.
an NPC or of
follower
player character.
Yeah.
This seems complicated. You ask me something that takes a bit of power and skill. I will do this for you. 150 gold for this potion of water breathing.
Well, so I know it's a very complicated plan, so let me break it down for you in small words. Fog, water everywhere.
Yes.
Yeah, we don't want the water breathing potion, right? Do we?
Perhaps.
No,
I
I
don't.
think he understands that now. I don't know what's going on here. This a lovely shop. I'll be outside if you need me, and I just head out.
So, sir, I believe we will not be requiring your water breathing, but after laying out this plan, which I'll kind of take him through the different phases,
Mhm.
is there, in your wisdom, a way that we could improve upon this plan and improve upon our chances to be able to take the ship as a prize? You seem to be very well read and well versed in the ways of the world. Any recommendations?
Yes. Perhaps magic of illusion would be of benefit to you.
Illusion to cover up the stumpy one that left, or illusion to get them to make the light look as if it's responding to them? I don't quite follow.
I have a scroll of minor illusion. For 60 gold, I could sell you. This would allow you to cast an illusion that lasts up to a minute, that has dimensions of up to 30 feet.
So we could make it look like it was the surface of the water.
You could perhaps manifest some hostile creature that would cause the crew to respond, and then deal with them in another way.
Oh, very good. So a more stealthier approach to boarding so that we could section them off.
Dan,
Quite wise in the ways of the world you are.
what you missed, Dan, was he offered a scroll of minor illusion for 60 gold, level 1 scroll.
Ooh.
That has a 30-foot dimension, so you could use it to, he suggested, some sort of monster or something.
Ooh, cool. Okay.
You could
That's not bad.
also specialize in, and he kind of does his hand in an arcane-looking motion, and a small fire appears in his hand. I specialize in fire. You could make it appear as if their ship was on fire with this illusion. Sailors
Very good.
don't like
Very
fire.
good. It's the worst. So that definitely, we can make the sails look as if they're starting to catch light. Do you think that would be worthwhile for 60 gold, gentlemen?
It does not sound like a poor investment to me. I do not specialize in spells of this nature. I do not know that we would otherwise be able to manifest such a thing if, in fact, we think that we would be able to use this to our advantage.
Oh, sorry, that was the arcane hand motion that Lemony B was
Uh-huh.
asking
Whoa.
for. Yeah, I was
That
just.
got
I thought you were
aggressive.
telling me to shut the fuck
No,
up.
no. I was just showing you what it looks like to cast fire hand.
Oh no, that's Kaladek. He's using it's that sign language. Yeah.
Yeah.
Very good, sir. We will gladly respond to your generosity by bringing you business here. Here you are, sir, and I'll pay the 60, I guess.
Cool.
Before you pay him, didn't Eliander tell us that if there was something specific we needed, he would help us get it?
Eliander,
Yeah, Eliander Fireborn.
you were working for Eliander.
Yes, as we mentioned, this is a job that we have taken on for the town council, and Eliander himself told us
Eliander
that he would help
Monastrad.
us. Yeah.
You know, the whole gang.
Eliander Fireborn. I like this one.
Yes.
I shall sell you the scroll for 50 gold.
Very generous of you, sir. We are very thankful for the help that you have rendered here, and know that you have a friend in us. And should any of your workers out near our base of operations need anything as they are spelunking for their quarry, please don't hesitate to reach out. We thank you for your time.
Yes, you have a friend in me. When the road looks rough ahead, and you're miles and miles from your nice warm bed, you just remember, boy, you've got a friend in me. Yeah, you've got a friend in me.
Maybe that's better in your last name, more unspoken. Thank you for your time.
Yes, and so you have a scroll of minor illusion in your possession now. Sans 50 gold, of course.
Roger.
Yep, and it has a range of up to 30 foot, and you can do a 5-foot cube, so the dimensions 30 foot on the sides and stuff. So, yep.
Yep.
Cool. One more thing before we bid you farewell, kind wizard. Thank you so much for your generosity. Is there any help that we can offer you? We ran into your crew of guano gatherers on the shore near. Of what?
Ads.
Oh, of
There's
ads. Fads, chads, and their dads. Yeah. What sort of project are you working on? Is there any way that we can be of assistance, given that where we have taken residence over on the hill is nearby where you no doubt have work ongoing?
Saltmarsh is a trade hub. The proximity to the guano is of much desire to my guild. The family procures it for me, and I provide for the order. I am always looking for components for spells. If you come upon something of interest to me, gem dust is something in high demand. I would definitely buy from you.
Gem dust.
Very good. Very good.
Yes.
Um,
Made by
so within the bag. Yeah, go ahead.
crushing gems.
I have two things I'll pull out of my backpack real quick and see if he's interested in them. The first one is the patch of flesh that is the beard, and see if he is interested. Is there any beard magic you could do with this? And then the other thing would be the badger skull. From
Oh,
early on.
yeah.
He leans. He has to lean over very far to get close to where your hand is holding up this patch of
I'm
flesh.
like jumping up and
Yeah.
handing them up.
He's
No.
very tall.
And then he looks at the badger skull. Have you cleaned it? Is it just skull? Or
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we brought it down just to skull.
This is pretty.
Thanks.
I
know I am. My name is Warren, but what about the badger skull?
Ha!
I love
I
this
don't really
image.
like wizards usually, but you're all right.
That's so good.
I will take skull.
Or
We are friends, right?
all right, I'll take you up on that, and I'll call you later. And I'm gonna toss him. Actually, I'm gonna have to like literally overhand
Yeah,
the
overhand.
skull up
Sorry,
to
yeah, so
him.
he grabs the
hilarious.
skull and like it. I mean, he's got a very large hand as well because he's so tall, and it fits these. And he sets it on his counter, and he says, "If that is all, the order bid you good day."
Bidet.
Bidet. Nice.
Bidet.
Nice.
Bidet, mate.
All right. So I'm assuming you guys are carrying on.
Yeah, I think is the plan ready? The plan sounds ready to me.
What is his so we're in his home and you said it's like darkness on the edges of like this lit area and he's standing at a counter essentially, right?
Yeah. So imagine that
What
you
sort
open.
of building are we in?
It's a large manor. Like it's
Oh.
probably 50 feet deep and then like 100 feet wide. You see a tower rising up out of the northeast corner, or sorry, the southeast corner. There's a tower that rises up. If let me see if I can't So it's this house right here, Dan.
Yeah.
This orange one.
Yeah.
And so it's got a
Yeah, I
tower
saw.
rising up, and as you go in, essentially there's just this tiny little area right in the entryway that is that he had you in. He's got this counter, and then the rest of it's just like blackened out.
Interesting. Okay. Yeah, so we'll bid him farewell and tell him we'll be sure to keep an eye out for any gem dust or any thing that we know to be components for magical spells that he might be interested in bulk for the order, and tell him big gulps, huh? Cool. Well, catch you later.
Let's see. So do me a favor, all three of you roll a perception check.
Oh, yes, please. Jesus Christ. It's a 4.
Who's that?
Oh, there it
It's
is.
an natural 20.
What's numbers?
Speaking of what's numbers, I'll talk about it later. South Dakota has just started a new campaign, Don't Do Drugs campaign, and it's the logo is the symbol of South Dakota, and it says meth, we're on it, period.
Wow.
That's not a joke. That's literally their anti-drug campaign in South Dakota right now.
I'm looking at it right now. This is incredible.
Oh my
It is an
God.
old man that looks like he might be on meth. Please don't sue me for saying that.
Meth, I'm on it, and then that old man. That's
This
hilarious.
is high school kids in football regalia.
Lee, as you guys are turning to leave the shop, you hear under his breath, he says, "Namise." And as you kind of look over your shoulder to see, he's weaving his hands in sort of a weird pattern as well. You're fairly certain that he is casting some sort of spell, but you don't know what.
I'm going to turn around and just make eye contact for a second and squint.
I am looking to see what magic you have upon you.
I believe that there's a main mast joke, something about my trousers, yada yada, but feel free to look.
Speaking of your trousers, don't you have a magic willy? Whale.
What?
You are friends. We shall do more business. If you find something powerful on that mission, please return to me. I pay good.
Okay.
Right. We got to get some balance of trade, so we'll be back.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. And then with that, he says something else and moves his hand, and the door closes in your face.
Love you, bye.
Yeah.
So,
All right, boys.
we have a scroll. What are we doing, party?
Let's go.
Let's head.
Do it. Let's do it to it.
Oh boy. So we've got our boots for climbing, right? That's established.
Yep.
We've got the fog cloud plan kind of ironed out. Where will Bones be?
Bones
and we have 2 guards, right?
He hasn't come back yet.
Bones hasn't returned yet. Bones is still gone.
I think
Okay,
we have to do
so-
it without him. He hasn't been here in a while.
Don't you think we should run our plan by the council, or at least that one guy who said he would give us any items that we needed? Or are we going to try and get?
Yeah.
Are we going to try and get this whole thing done in the next 20 minutes?
No, there's
Well, no.
yeah.
I figure this, that the fewer people that know our plan, the better.
Sure.
We don't know who's informing on us or who's got a vested interest to keep this smuggling operation alive.
I agree.
Well, I definitely explained the plan to a mysterious wizard, so the
In
cat
great
may be out of the
detail.
bag already. Yeah.
I was waiting on you to say something about the. By the way, I don't know if we talked about it, but I'd appreciate it if we don't talk about the Dwarven Anvil being involved. It's
Yeah.
talk about it
Yeah.
later. Oh, I just
Yeah.
want to make sure.
Well,
I'm being honest. I still don't understand how they're really involved so much as they're just being leveraged, right? They're not
They're
doing
making the
anything wrong.
weapons.
Yeah, but they're
Well,
not doing anything wrong, right?
They know they're going to smugglers,
They're-
and
Oh,
the way
I thought they were just being extorted.
They're
Like,
not paying taxes on the weapons, so they're
Ah.
they're crafting it off the books. So the town council is interested because they're not collecting any revenue off of these sales.
got it.
and also the way they got the bar was a little sketchy, or the Dwarven Anvil was a little sketchy, right?
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, that's right.
Ownership just kind of landed into her father's lap.
I have some ideas there, but we'll run by those later.
Yep.
Okay. Well, I guess if you guys think that our plan is planned enough,
Very planny
Well,
plan.
it ain't Survivor's first contact anyway, so we got a general idea what we're wanting to do.
So you're heading back to the honey pot, and you arrive back at the honey pot with a little fanfare. Let's see. Sorry, let me bring this up here. What? Oh, we're scrolled over. So you're back at the honey pot, and how many are you guys just sort of resting through days until the 15th? Is that the general plan?
Yeah, I mean, we just want to make sure the honeypot's clean and it's in good working repair. So if there's any adverse weather, then kind of see if there's any additional leaks or anything we got to do to seal the house up better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Luckily, so it's clear. It's mostly cloudy. The night of the 13th, the wind picks up quite a bit, and it's slightly overcast through the day. We get mid-20s breezes flowing, and you guys do a little bit more work, patch down some more stuff. The morning of the 14th arrives, and it's gray, highly overcast, and
Okay.
biting sideways rain kicks in the morning, and it's just a constant deluge throughout the day. And your Valkorian, your experience on the sea when these summer squalls hit, they can last 2 or 3 days. And so you're pretty convinced that this rain isn't going to
It's going to be pissing.
It's going to be pissing for the next couple of days. So the 14th, the winds really kick up. It's the between 32 and 38 miles an hour. Quite a big gale coming off the waters. There's white caps as far as you can see out into the sea.
Oh gosh.
About midday on the 14th, you hear the four of you are kind of hanging out downstairs again, and you hear what appears to be the sound of running outside the house. All four of you roll, or you three, sorry, roll me a perception check.
Jesus Christ, these rolls. Got a 6. Wow. We all slept through it.
Did I use my inspiration? No, it's fine. This will be fine.
Yeah, so you hear running outside, but you're not really, you can't really discern too much about it. And then the door bursts open, and standing in the doorway, dripping water from head to toe, is Carl.
State your business. Where's the captain?
And he's really out of breath. He's right behind me. And then trudging
Gonna go to the door.
trudging through the mud, coming up through the front entryway, holding a wooden box underneath his arms. It's about 2 foot long. Rain just glistening off his shell, mud up to his knees. Hey, you fuckers! Well,
You fucking robbed him.
And
We were supposed to recruit him, sir.
And you notice the captain's got a few gashes in his chest. He's got some bruising on his face. And he walks up. They didn't want to be in a crew. They wanted me to be in their crew. Fucking Captain Bones works for no man ever again. But
Okay.
So, where we stand on the issue then? Are we getting them coming over or not?
well, if you can raise the dead, they'll join us.
Oh
Well, actually,
shit.
it's funny you say that. I've been working on it. I can lift them about 5 foot in the air and then put them back down.
But
You can't even reach 5 foot in the air, Squanty.
Look, if I jump,
and then he points. Carl has made his way over to the stairs and is sitting on the stairs, his head between his legs, and he's just still breathing hard, wheezing. Captain points at him and he says, "That fucker's quite the killer. Took out 2 of them all on his own."
I mean,
Yeah.
that's impressive and all, but if you killed everybody, why the fuck you running so fast? Are we waiting for more coming back?
It's fucking raining, you asshole.
I thought you liked water.
Captain, all due respect, sir, but you live underwater. You are amphibious.
Yeah, it
Why are
doesn't.
you complaining?
It doesn't fall on you. It just surrounds you. This shit sucks.
You do look a bit chafed, sir. Come in here and get warm.
So he makes his way in the house and he throws this box on the ground. The fucking captain, clutching this as I tried to fucking fight him, wouldn't give it up. And it's like I said, it's about 12 inches long. Sorry, 6 inches wide, about 6 inches deep. And it's this box. And no, this is 12 inches. I'm fairly sure.
Tell me
Is
when.
this the fucking spyglass?
There was a box they had.
Carl says, take it out in the yard, and I'll show you something. Says Captain loved this thing.
What?
So
Hell yeah. Let's do it. I'm hyped.
I mean, yeah, let's go see what he's talking about.
Carl follows you out to the yard, and you kind of step right out into the yard, and he's like, no, go out a little further, out past the well. And so you kind of take it out in this area, and then he says, now hold it up next to you and say "Shipe," and throw it in front of you.
You whispering sweet nothings, man. Did you say sheep or did you say shite?
And as soon as you say "shipe" and you're holding it in your hand, the box starts to unfold, and it unfolds into a boat that's about 10 feet long, 4 feet wide, and 2 feet deep. And it has a pair of oars sitting in it. An anchor flops out on the ground. It's got a mast and a lateen sail that's furled up right now on it. But it's a ship appears out of
What
it.
in the 10 levels of fuck is this fuckery going on right here?
That's awesome.
And then he says,
Warren jumps inside immediately. He's like, look at me, I'm a pirate.
"Get out of the boat, you fucking asshole!" Bones yells at you, and then Carl says, "Now say, what?"
Should I jump
Meanwhile,
up before you do that?
Nimbus is spraying water to simulate being on the ocean, going, "You're the king of the world." Yeah. Perfect.
Right. That's awfully fancy, sir. I guess there'd be no one of us getting marooned now.
Yeah, that's great.
I'm more of a flesh colored, but I'd like to be maroon. That'd be cool. I'm gonna jump off the boat before he whispers anything at it.
So does anybody whisper
So-
the?
Oh,
So
Boat.
yeah. So as soon as you say that, the ship unfolds even more, and now it's taking up most of the yard. Is a ship that's 24 feet long, 8 foot wide, and it's got about a 6 foot depth on it. It has a sail. It's got rowing seats, 5 sets of oars. There's a steering oar and anchor, a small deck cabin, and a square sail. And it's about twice the size of the Tendy's call.
So cool.
And Carl says, when those fuckers put us on the water, they thought all we had was a little rowboat. Captain's had this thing for years. It's quite the prize.
Reckon he ain't got it no more, does he?
You're right.
Was it a boat of holding? What are we looking at here?
And so you know it
Well,
as
no.
it's a folding boat is what it is.
Cool.
Cool.
I've never heard of such a thing. That's awesome.
This
Yeah.
is outstanding. It's a good find. That makes you a Commodore, does it not?
You're fucking right, it does. But this Commodore needs some rest before we do anything. I'm pretty fucked up.
It's fair.
Right. So we got a rather eloquent Badger stew that Nimbus put together. So please go fill your belly up there, sir.
Yeah, fucking right I will. And he makes his way inside, and so Bones is gonna start eating some stew. Carl says, "You got anything that'll warm my belly? I'm wet."
Yeah, downstairs in the basement there should be some booze.
Cool. And so Carl makes his way quickly inside without saying another word. Yeah, there's a 24-foot ship boat in the yard of the house right now.
Hey, with the way the wind's blowing, we gotta take this fucker down. Coral, what's the word to make it disappear again?
And from far away in the house, Field.
Field?
Oh, and then it folds up back into a 12-inch box by 6x4. Essentially, it's the command words are fold, ship, and boat, but it's weird accents on the vowels to make it work.
So you don't accidentally say it. Yeah, that's awesome.
And I thought you were about to say it just now, Dan. I was gonna have it come out again, but you stopped yourself.
No.
Good on you.
I'm gonna go up and just start whispering different words like steak dinner, and just see if it turns into something else.
Yeah.
No, you feel the box sort of quiver as you're saying things to it, but nothing happens. It very much wants to be.
Oh,
what you
you're
want it to
rightly
be.
scaring it, aren't you, Stumpy? You got that boat. You got that box there, really fried.
I'm a very intimidating person.
So, anything else you guys want to do? So it's the 14th. Like I said, it's it's midday the 14th.
Disseminate that to Bones. Have him join us out in the water.
Yep.
And we may just leave the 2 guards and Carl then on the shore duty, and
With
then
Maris.
we'll be out in the water.
Yeah.
Maris
Maris
will
will stay also because he needs to cast his fog cloud as well. Yep. And we're taking the scroll of illusion out with us into the bay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. So, anything else before we go into the long rest, and then we'll that's pretty good
I'm
stuff.
gonna get my dolls. Get my dolls from the the township.
You'd already picked them up during the downtime, so you have them. Yep.
All right, so then I would have those deployed before the rainstorm came.
Okay. Yeah. So when you're out here in the yard, you look over where you had placed the dolls, and they're gone. Make a perception check.
Right.
What?
It's a 12.
So you walk over that area and they're gone, but sitting right in where you had them, because you kind of had them sitting up against 2 rocks there, facing out towards the woods. So right on top of one of the rocks is a single gold coin, and as you pick the gold coin up and you look at the coin and you recognize it. It's got a gnome's face on it, and you recognize it as the currency of the trading hub of Nomia. which is the gnomish capital far to the north of Saltmarsh, sort of at the there's a point where 3 roads meet from Lakeland to the northwest, the Dominion of Imrad off to the east, I think it's called. I'd have to look at my map again. And then the Kingdom of Honan. And Nomia sits right at that center point and is this giant trade hub. And that's the coin of Nomia.
Oh, very good. I'm going to pick it up and keep it to myself.
Okay.
What the fuck?
All right.
Weird.
Cool. So.
No, you're weird.
All right. So with that, let's close out. This is a pretty good stopping point then on the night of the 14th, and then we can pick up next session next Monday with us getting straight into the plan. So as you guys bed down to rest for the night of the 14th, knowing that 24 hours from now you're going to be embarking on the final stages of your quest. The 2 guards from town have arrived. They're there to rest with you as well. They have their ship docked right up against the cave mouth. They've got it tied to the same rock that the Tendies call us tied up to. So you have 2 ships down at the mouth of the cave. Carl is with you as well. Bones has made his way back. So the whole party's gathered, plus the 2 guards and Carl. And you guys bed down for the night, preparing for what's to come the following day. Nimbus, for you specifically, it's a fight on the water potentially, and
Right.
since you've been marooned, you've been yearning to get back to the sea.
Yes.
And so this you're having a hard time going to sleep because you're very excited about the next day. Valkorian, for you and Bones, you guys stay up probably a little bit later than you should, trading tales of this time on this ship and this time at this port of call, harkening back to the fun that you had. And Captain Ron has abandoned you, and there's still something you need to figure out what happened there, and you're both a bit worried about that, but you are excited to get the sea back underneath your feet. As this last couple of weeks on land has not been, exactly fun. Warren, for you, this is interesting. You're not someone who's spent a lot of time on the sea, but you've been able to, in the time with these folks, you've done some stuff with your craft. You've made these boots. You've done quite a bit of work around the house. You've laid to rest apparently a dwarf smith of some renown, and you've begun to foster this relationship with the folks at the Dwarven Anvil, and this represents a chance for you to do something good for those folks, and it feels good to you. For the first time in a long time, it feels like you're going to do something that means something, and not just making nails and hammers and bits. For Maris, he's not here, but it represents a chance for him as well to figure out where this relic came from, this Kish name that was on it, and the book that he found that was dedicated to Kish, and to look into and try to discover what sort of information he can glean about this Triton expedition from so long ago. So for everyone, it's sort of a turning of the page as we move forward into chapter 2 of your tale. So thank you guys for being here.
Sweet.
A lot of fun tonight getting this set up. It took us a few episodes to get the plan in place, but I like what we've got. I'm looking forward to seeing this unfold. We'll post this up in the Discord channel and talk through a little bit. But we will be back next Monday, the 25th. I think everyone should be able to be here, if I recall correctly. So we'll have next Monday, and then we might have a little bit of reduced cast the Monday after, and then we're probably going to be off for a few weeks. We might do something else in the meantime, just to keep it going on Monday nights, play another game or something, because we've got Aaron's going to be traveling for a little bit, and I know Ali has some travel coming up as well. So, but it's been too long, and definitely want to keep it going. So appreciate everybody coming out. Appreciate you guys, of course, for your time. A lot of fun. And with that, Ramshackle Production out.